Sam had a smile that could light up any room, a laughter that filled any silence, an ability to turn a 2-minute conversation with a stranger into a lasting friendship. A risk taker who was good at everything, but also a boy who went home and didn't see what we saw. A boy who suffered in silence. If only he had seen the 300 people who came to his funeral, his friends that still mourn, his sister that still idolises him. If only he had known. His loss opened my eyes to the importance of discussing mental health and sharing stories. Sam died whilst he was in his last year of education at uni. He couldn't see a future beyond that. This is why it is important to make suicide prevention a part of the educational agenda. If he had been better prepared to face life as an adult, he would have been aware of what was happening in his head and the resources that are out there that could have supported him. If he had been told by one person that boys cry too, I could have been at home with my brother today. The winners of this award have been fighting the stigma of mental illness and raising awareness through the outdoors. Their mission to petition the 4 parliaments and make suicide prevention part of the school curriculum is vital to the mental well-being of our future generations. Those bereaved by suicide know how important it is to prevent others from joining this club, and they have been spreading this message with every step they have taken. So in honour of Sam, Beth, Sophie and Emily, I'd like to announce that the winners are 3 Dads Walking.
Tell us about your journey.
Whoa, well, Jess has just had us in tears there. I'm here on behalf of Mike and Tim. The 3 of us have walked just shy of 1,000 miles over the last 2 years, and we've spoken to a lot of people along the way. We've done this in memory of our daughters, Beth, who was 17, Emily was 19, and Soph was 29. Their suicides all came out of the blue. None of us saw it coming, our families knew nothing. And it was only after our young people died that we found Papyrus Prevention of Young Suicide. These people, fantastic organisation. Go and find them. Make it a job after this. Go and find Papyrus. After you find Papyrus, the second thing you come across, other than the great work they're doing, is the fact that suicide is the biggest killer of under 35s in the UK. Think about it. The thing that kills young people are themselves. When we walked, the thing that struck us last year, we spoke to suicide bereaved parents every day. People like Jackie and Jess here, who are members of a club that you don't want to join. Those parents came to us and said, we only found out about Papyrus after our young person died. We only found out that suicide is the biggest killer of young people after our young person died. Why isn't anybody talking about it? Right, you lot, listen. Go and talk about it. If you're worried about young people, talk to them. Talk to them. What we're doing at the moment... Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, Andy, there's a fear, I think, sometimes that if someone mentions the S word, it might encourage someone. Tell me why that's not correct.
Right, I'll give you the answer that I gave on breakfast television to the government petition, which is bollocks. There's been thank you.
Why bollocks though? Break it down for us, why bollocks?
There has been research done, worldwide research, that says talking about suicide prevents suicide. If we don't talk about it, our young people will get their mobile phones out of the pocket and find about suicide that way. Now, we all saw what happened with the Molly Russell inquest last month. Is that how you want your young people to find out about suicide? We would suggest not. It's beholden upon us as adults to talk about it.
What's the question? How do you start that conversation with someone you are worried about?
Have you got suicidal thoughts? Do you feel suicidal? If the answer is no, great. If the answer is yes, you have to do something about it. as Stu was saying before, you don't need to be a trained psychologist, but you can signpost people. Knowing that Papyrus exists will save lives. They run a thing called Helpline UK. It's a support line for people who feel suicidal.
Turn around for us.
That's it. Those people there.
0800 068 4141. Okay.
But it's also there for people who are worried. If you're worried about a young person, phone up and ask for help. It's staffed by mental health professionals who will offer you support and advice.
Thank you. Tell us how the three dads who walk, how has walking helped you manage your trauma and grief?
Well, my background is outdoors. I've been in outdoor retail and tourism all my career, so I spent my life in the outdoors, so I just know what it's like. Being outside and going for a walk does you a power of good, doesn't it? It's what you want to do. It's a fantastic thing to do. What we discovered going when we were walking and talking, the talking was a fantastic, an incredibly powerful tool, because when we were walking, your brain kind of switches off. It almost allows it to freewheel. So the conversations that we were having whilst walking were some of the most powerful things I've ever experienced, and incredibly uplifting. It's a privileged position that we accidentally put ourselves in.
It's an absolute privilege to speak with you and you, Jess, and you, Stu.
I've got one more thing to say.
Go on, go.
So if you give me a platform and a microphone, I'll be knackered. Have a look at our website, 3dadswalking.uk. There's 2 buttons on that. Well, there's several buttons, but there's 2 you can press. One is donate, and there you can give money which goes to Papyrus to help their life-saving work. So you can press that. But I've got to say the most important button at the moment is the petition button. As was mentioned before, we're trying to get suicide prevention added to the school curriculum. Suicide is not mentioned as a compulsory part of the school curriculum. Think about that. It's the biggest risk in our young people's lives, but schools aren't obliged to talk about it. What we're trying to do is make it compulsory. So the best thing you can do off the back of this, after finding out about the virus, is go to our website, press the petition button, and get that in front of Parliament. So hopefully debate it sometime in the new year.
That's fantastic, and also talk more broadly about how important this is, because every suicide is preventable.
Well, we'd like to think so, but we know many suicides are preventable. If our young people were trained in help-seeking behaviour as they come through schools, they'll be in a position when things aren't looking good, instead of just sitting, bottling it up and hoping to try and sort themselves out, they'll be able to reach out and ask for help. A really difficult thing to do, but if you're trained to do it, you will be able to do it.
Yeah, incredible work, and I can't reinforce or back what Andy's saying enough. And I've asked that question. Are you thinking about suicide? Are you thinking about ending your life? And by asking that question, not only am I asking about those things, I'm also communicating to that person that I care. And I've never had an adverse reaction to that question. The worst I've had is no, but thank you for asking. And sometimes people have said yes, and then being able to get them the support that they need. And it's a life-saving skill, just that question. And I think it's something that everybody should know. And evidence actually shows not only does it not put thoughts into people's minds, it actually reduces the likelihood of that person attempting suicide. It reduces the stigma, and very often is the first question in the start into someone's journey into recovery. So I can't stress the importance of that enough.
Amazing. Andy Airey, Jess Hill, thank you so much. Well done.